Hey guys, welcome to this latest live. Let me just get the questions up. I'm sure, already look at that. Questions already coming in, which is great. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Let me just check the sound as well. Sorry, I've just been finishing the podcast because the bank holiday. I didn't do the podcast as normal for this morning, so I've been recording it just now, catching up with things. But hopefully that is all good and you can hear me all okay as well. Right. Let's get started. Hello on Instagram over here. Hello over here on YouTube. You're obviously welcome to watch me and interact on any of these sessions. What I should probably say, as I say the video, if this is your first time here, we've only got 30 minutes for this session. Please only ask one question. And when you write that question, read it back to yourself before you press enter, just so when you read it, it makes sense. There's no typos. You're not over two messages, things like that. If you've done that, please delete that message and then type it in again, because otherwise I might skip them if it doesn't make sense really quickly, because I try and get through as many of these as I can. So let's start off with, so Mark asks, are there any new bank switching deals to be announced? Thank you. At the moment, I don't know. So the TSB offer finished about a week and a bit ago in terms of new applicants, and the Halifax offer ends on Thursday. That leaves just First Direct, doesn't it? After that, I think. The co-op one, obviously slightly different because you have to be referred by someone. I would imagine we'll start to see other deals in September. Obviously, as soon as they are announced, I'll let you know straight away over on becleveryourcash.com, because I have a whole analysis there, and in the Facebook community. The URL is up there, becleveryourcash.com/community if you're watching this on YouTube. That's a short URL to take you there. I'll let you know straight away, and also share that on Twitter and things as well. I'll also do a video as soon as I can on YouTube for when those are going on. So you obviously keep an eye on all those places for details. Rico says, hi Andy, I use a budgeting app called Snoop, but since mobile banking apps are evolving and you can budget on them, is there any benefit to using Snoop, Emma or Plum, since I have a Monzo account? There are some of these budgeting apps that have additional features, additional ways to analyze your finances, which you won't get within the normal banking app that you've got. So Monzo has some decent budgeting features, but to get the additional ones, you have to pay for that. And I don't think it's worth paying extra for this stuff when you can get it for free in these other apps. Although they are also starting to introduce charges for those features. Emma, for example, has reduced what you can do with it. Money Hub is a pretty good one. That has lots and lots and lots of features you can do, but again, you do have to pay for that. It's not a huge amount, but you do have to pay. And Snoop also has the free version, which is fine, but extra features in the paid one. I'm probably overdue doing an update on this one where we can look at it and just sort of just double check what's gone on, because previously I've not been that fussed about them. And if you've got a single account, you might be getting away, particularly Monzo. Just get absolutely fine with what you've got. Best thing to do is to give them a try. The free versions, put them in, put your accounts in, and see if you get any different analysis between the two, any more information that helps you with your finances. What this is all about is helping you keep control, keep across all your finances. Where I've found them useful is where I've had multiple accounts and I've been able to they quickly go on and see the balances across those different accounts to make sure that I've got the money needed to make that fee that's going to come out once a month for, like, say, the Club Lloyds, although that's then going to get refunded by money going in. But you get the gist, or the Santander accounts for cash back on the bills, making sure there's enough in there, rather than going into all the individual apps. But actually, if you've only got 2 or 3 apps, you can probably cover that off yourself. Love to get your thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comments if you are a fan. Let me check it on Insta. Any questions going on here? You guys are also a little bit quieter normally. So Secking says, what do you think interest rates will peak at? Just my opinion. Really hard to say with this, because the kind of what's going on in the world changes all the time as well. It's looking like right now we're imagining a peak of that 5.75, maybe 6% possibly, but things can change all the time that could impact that. The next Bank of England meeting is on the 3 weeks time, I think it is, the 20th of September. Yeah. So then we'll know for certain what's going on. But that's a long time before that next meeting. We're halfway between the cycles, the 6-week cycles between meetings. Interestingly, what I've noticed this afternoon, just before going live here, a lot of those 1-year fixed savings accounts at 6% are disappearing. Obviously, we had some above 6% over the last few months, but then loads at 6%. And now I think there's only half a dozen at 6%. And then a lot of the ones which were offering 6 or just above 6, they're now 5.95 or 5.9. So I would imagine those 1-year fixes we're going to see disappearing. And that is an indication from the banks that they don't think rates are going to be going much higher than they are already, or at least going above 6%. But again, it's really hard to say. Another bank switcher question here from DGC808 says, any idea if there will be a new Halifax Switch offer when the current one ends this month? At some point, there probably will be another Halifax offer, probably later this year. No guarantees. And there'll also probably be another Lloyd's offer. One of the terms that was added to the, I should look over here, it's a YouTube question, not an Instagram question. I'll look at the YouTube camera. One of the terms that was added early this year to these switches, maybe in the spring, was you cannot get an offer from Halifax. You've had one from Lloyd's. You can't get one from Lloyd's. You've had one from Halifax. So it's worth thinking about if you're going to go for one. If you've missed this Halifax one, you don't think you're going to be able to do it in time for this, keep an eye out for both Lloyd's and for Halifax. Look for the offers at both of them. If you use previous years as a guide, which isn't always going to work out, but if you look at last year, what they did with Lloyd's was they had the £150 offer, which did run a few months ago, but they also had a higher one that ran, which has slightly different terms later in the year. So it could be if you've missed out on both of those, there'll be a better offer that comes along. Conversely, it could be the offers stay the same, or they flip down, or they just stop doing them completely. But as I said before, I'll let you know as soon as I see any switching deals come along, exactly what they are and whether they're worth going for. Tracy says, what's your view on things like missed play that pay you to play games? I don't know. I don't have a view on them. Generally, I find the kind of app stuff where you make a little bit of money not massively worth it in terms of time and reward. But if you're someone who plays games regularly on your phone just to chill out, and if there's a game that you can play that you enjoy that also earns you some points or some pennies, whatever it might be, then that's no bad thing, isn't it? As long as you don't mind giving up one game over there to play a different one, then there's no harm. Obviously, I don't know missed play itself, so there might be some terms and conditions that like certain amounts you have to earn to cash out or certain ways you can spend them. So I can't say whether that is good, but in principle, if you play games anyway, give it a go. If you don't play games, there are probably better things you can do with your time just to enjoy yourself and chill out, or to proactively try and make your money work a little bit harder for you. Anne's got a question. Says, is now a good moment to invest in the stock market? Afraid, Anne, investing isn't something that I talk about here on the channel. There will be lots of people out there who will be saying, yes, it's a great time. So people say, no, it's a bad time. I would say do your research thoroughly so you understand exactly why they're saying what they're saying is. So you aren't just blindly following someone on YouTube or on a blog or whatever it might be, or TikTok telling you what to do. You understand why you're making that decision, whether it's good or bad in terms of, well, not good or bad, whether it's pro investing or anti-investing at this moment in time. Strawberry Mellow says, can you please add business savings account rates to your page? The personal one is so very handy. It'd be great to have a business one too. So this is if you're for personal savings, you have becleverwithyourcash.com/savings, where the best buy tables are. Myself and the team are updating this every day, multiple points throughout the day to make sure the top paying ones are listed. And we go to various places to get this and editorialize and choose which ones are going to be at the top. It's not always just the one that pays the most. Sometimes we want to adjust them, or some that aren't listed and we find them elsewhere and throw them in. Business savings, yeah, absolutely. That's something I would like to do. Obviously, it is a time thing there, but it's certainly something to consider. I also need to update our banking, business banking current account guide as well at some point. So maybe we do that as part of that. Andrew's asked about apps such as Money Hub. We've spoken about that earlier on to the budgeting apps already, Andrew. Hopefully you caught that. Andrew asked a few questions there. I'll do this one because I didn't answer that. If you were going abroad, would you take out any cash, or would you be happy to use Starling or Chase for all payments, assuming this card is accepted in every shop? Yeah, I mean, I've written about this, so if you want to read about it, there is an article on the blog. And I think I spoke about it in podcast recently, can't remember. But yeah, I always take some cash with me. Not a huge amount, but I'll take some. And actually, it depends on the destination. So if I was going to, I don't know, Paris, I'd probably want to have, I don't know, like 20 for a weekend, 20 euros, something like that. Just so I've got something in case there's an issue when I get to the station to buy a train ticket or to get a taxi or whatever it might be. If I was going somewhere, I don't know, I'm a random country. If I'm thinking of a random country, right, in Africa or Asia, which maybe isn't such a popular tourist destination, well, then I might take more money. In fact, we've been looking at going to Chile at some point soon, this year or next year. And one of the things they talk about there is some destinations you'll be fine. Some parts of Chile, other places you won't. You probably will need cash more often. So it really depends where you're going. You've just said abroad, haven't you? So yeah, have a look, read some guidebooks, do some research online, see what the situation is. What you want to find out about is how easy it is to access ATMs, cash machines, and also how often people want you to pay in cash. It's not always easy to find this information, but some places you're going to be cash only. And also some places you might want the local currency, but you might also want US dollars. So that's an extra thing to sort of look on top. Obviously, if you're doing that and you are taking larger amounts of cash with you, you want to maybe invest in a money belt. You want to make sure the hotels you're staying in have safes, things like that. You want to check your travel insurance. If there's a cap on how much money it will insure you for, and if there is an excess that limits how much that you can claim back. If, for example, you lose your wallet or you're pickpocketed, which happened to me in Argentina about a decade ago. Fortunately, we had another wallet back at the hotel in a safe, which had spare cards and some cash. But I was a bit stupid. I didn't follow my own advice that time, and I did actually not have my money in my money wallet, in my money belt, and they got away with all of that. They're very clever, some of these guys. So yeah, watch out for that. Robert says, is NS&I tax-free like an ISA? So NS&I is National Savings and Investments. This is a government bank, essentially. And so any money you put into NS&I goes towards the government to use on whatever they might use it on. And then they pay you often some interest or some kind of return for that. Now, NS&I offers premium bonds, and premium bonds are tax-free. The prizes you win from premium bonds are tax-free. That is the only NS&I product which is tax-free in terms of the interest. If any of the other stuff, the Green Savers bonds, which the rate went up last week, I've spoken about them in the podcast going out tomorrow. We've got an article on the website as well taking you through those. 5.7% is a really good option for ethical savings, I think, but it is a 3-year bond which has its issues. But that is not tax-free. Or some of the bonds there, some of the savings accounts you can get there, you're protected above the Financial Services Compensation Scheme level of £85,000 up to £1 million or £2 million. For some people, that might be important, but you will be taxed on the interest. Dave says, evening. Oh, DGC was just confirming the sound was okay. That's good. So Iftikhar says, I signed up to complete savings through eBay, and as long as I purchase something once a month, it gives me the £15 fee back as a bonus. This makes 10% cash back better than anything. So I've always been quite skeptical of complete savings as a cashback site, because it's the kind of thing that they get you accidentally, and you pay a fee every month and people forget about it. They don't use the sites. They end up paying money month after month after month after month. It's very, very expensive, more than they're ever going to earn on the cashback sites. Although Top Cashback does have a premium fee that you can pay, which I think is £5 a year, and Quidco has a pro version you can pay. I think it's £2 a month, could be £1 a month if you use the service those months. It's a lot less, and you can opt out of it really easily. I think this is interesting to you from Iftikhar, that if you do make a small purchase, you say 99p bin bags, you don't pay the fee. That's good to know. That's a good option. If you're getting better rates there than you are with Quidco and Top Cashback, certainly worth considering. And ideally, you're buying something that you actually need. I don't know if you necessarily need bin bags every single month, but okay, that's good to know. But still be careful with one with that. If you're not sure about it, it's the one that pops up after you've bought, I don't know, tickets on Ticketmaster, or, do you want to earn cash back on your next product? That's who complete savings are. Zoeb says, hi Andy, I'm a single person with 2 savings accounts, Tandem and Chip, and within both I have 85k saved. Is the Financial Services Compensation Scheme protection limited to 85k as a whole, or per account containing? So again, I've got a video on Financial Services Compensation Scheme and an article on it, depending which way you want to receive the information. I think I covered it in the podcast as well, which goes into a lot of detail on that. So please search for that. But the headline is, you are protected up to £85,000 per financial institution per person. So these are 2 separate banks, Tandem and Chip. They have separate banking licenses. So you can have, as an individual, 85k in both of them, as you do. And if both of them went bust or one of them went bust, doesn't matter. Your money is protected up to 85k in each of them. Where it gets a bit more kind of complicated is when banks share a financial institution. Now, Tandem is its own bank, has its own license. Chip is not technically a bank. It does not have its own license. Its savings are held with someone else. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who they are. Clearbank, possibly? Now, you may well have, I don't think you do, but you may well have another account either directly with Clearbank or maybe via another sort of third-party app that uses Clearbank. In that case, if you had 85k in both of those, you'd only be protected once. So it's really important that you kind of just check exactly who that account is with. And when you go into Chip, it clearly says this is with ClearBank. You go into other third-party providers that do the same thing. If you use Raisin, that will tell you as well. So it should be pretty clear, but important to check that out. FSCS, video and article on that for more information. Harry says, is there any way I can get the Sky Sports membership for cheap? So again, lots of content on the website about Sky Sports. There are a few ways you can get Sky Sports. One of them is to via Sky, obviously, or via Virgin Media or by BT TV. All of those ones will very likely tie you into a longer contract, an 18-month contract, or you might be able to cancel the sports, but the whole TV package as a whole is a new contract for 18 months. And that can obviously be very, very, very expensive. My personal preference for most of the time is to go via Now TV, which is Sky's streaming service. A Sky Sports month pass at full price is $34.99. It's gone up again this year. There are often regular offers that bring that down to £26 and sometimes down to £20 or £21. So Crystal Palace is the team I support. They were on TV last weekend. They're on again pretty soon. So I actually signed up for a $19.99 month pass to cover both of those. That price will carry on for, I think it's 9 months, but Palace aren't on Sky again for a while. So I'll probably cancel that. And when they're on next time, you can also buy a day pass, which is $11.99. So I'll probably buy a day pass for that other game in the future. Again, loads of content about ditching Sky, watching Premier League football or any sports really on TV and Now TV over on becleveryourcash.com. So head over there, type in Sky Sports and you'll see all the different articles, which will hopefully help you save some cash. Should instantly say, if you're with Virgin Media, I haven't checked this is still live, but a few weeks ago, they had a very, very, very good offer via their Virgin Stream box, both for Sky Sports and TNT Sports, which is definitely worth having a look at, but you do already need to have your broadband with Virgin Media. Jane says, any ideas on the best Freeview recording play boxes? I need to cancel my Sky Q due to costs. So I'm a little bit out of touch on the latest kit. One option you could look at, depending on who your broadband's, if your broadband's out of contract, you could look at seeing if there's a deal running with BT, and these run from time to time better deals. But if you get BT TV and BT broadband, you'll get a box. It used to be you get to keep that when you ditched BT. I think now you have to send it back, which is a bit of a shame because the one I've got upstairs is one from an old BT contract. It's worth looking at that. But I would say maybe have a look at, my friend runs a website called Cordbusters. That's very good at looking at those kind of things. There might be some reviews there on the best devices to buy. Don't get carried away. They've got better and better and better, which is great. But, if you depending on how much you record and how quickly you watch things, you don't get too large or too small a hard drive for that. And also look at the tuners, which are best for you. I would say normally it used to be about 200 quid you could get a decent one for. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that right now. Jonathan says, just got the Santander All In One card. Was it a good choice? I'm not personally a fan of that because I think you can get the same from that card elsewhere without having to pay the fee. So it's not one that I would say is the best card. However, you've now got it. If you were to apply for another credit card now, which offered maybe something marginally better or something that you could use, get a better rate more exclusively or didn't have that fee, obviously you're going to be credit checked. So you might want to just give this one a go for a while, see how it is, and then maybe have a look again. I've got video and I've got content looking at the best credit cards, the best cashback credit cards and debit cards as well. Obviously, don't forget, if you haven't got the Chase debit card already, you'll get that 1% back up to £15 for a year, and it might be extended beyond that. So it might be you can use that in combination. Use your all-in-one Santander card for some cashback, and then I got that right. The all-in-one has some cashback. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't. Am I thinking of a different card? Aren't I? Oh, I might be thinking of a different card there. Depends. Okay, let's rewind. Right. Depending what you want that credit card for, is it good or not? I don't know. As long as you pay off the full amount every single month to avoid interest charges, that's great. If you want it just for credit building, that's all you do with it, fantastic. If you want a particular feature, 0% finance, 0% balance transfer, fee-free spending, cashback, then there are probably different options out there. Graham says, will Crew join the current account switching service? I imagine they will try to do that at some point. Obviously, they're doing a lot of things as a new bank and it can take time. Look at Chase, for example. It took them, a year and a half, 2.5 years? When did they launch? 2 years ago, didn't they? It took them a year and a half to get onto the current account switching service. So I imagine Crew they also could take a while. It depends what they're going to prioritize in order to do that. Jono says, hi Andy, I'm 18 and recently been approved for an Amex Blue British Airways card with a £7,000 credit limit. Should I, wow, okay. Should I also get a student bank for September? Right, so this is an interesting one. So that's a lot of credit for an 18-year-old. So you've got to be really sure that you understand how they work. So I don't mean to sound patronizing. You might be like, you get it, you know it, and it's no problem. If they are new to you completely, you don't quite get them, I've got a video about beginners credit cards, first-time credit cards. Watch that when we finish this. So hopefully that'll give you a better understanding of how to use them, how to manage them, how to make them useful for you to improve your credit score, but to avoid them being expensive for you where you get charged interest. So again, apologies if you know that already, but do watch that one. Student bank accounts are separate. They're very different things. If you are going to university next month, absolutely get a student current account. Absolutely. Not only are there some free cash offers available to you, £100 here, free rail card there, there's also a 0% overdraft available for you. Now, you should not be spending the money, this overdraft, just because you got it, but this is about helping you make ends meet, how to make sure you don't have to use more expensive ways to spend, such as a credit card or a non-student 0% overdraft, which would be 40% interest. Again, a whole video and article looking at student bank accounts, so make sure you watch that or read that to really understand that and help you choose which one to go for. So some school holidays still, some homework for you. First time credit cards and student bank accounts, watch the videos on those. Contessa says, thank you for your travel money advice. Went with your top recommendation, the Barclays card rewards. Brilliant. Fantastic. I'm glad that works out for you. Decent card there, 0.25% cash back on your spending at home and abroad, and it's completely fee-free, so you'll save money that way as well. So that is definitely a really good one to go for. I think it's really handy to have that when you have to put like a car hire or hotel incidentals, you need to put money on a credit card. You don't want to do that on a debit card, which is why it's handy to have both something like Chase and something like the Barclays card reward. Begin a whole video looking at the best ways to spend abroad. Check that out if it's interesting to you. That's really kind of you. Conflictus as a super chat. That's really kind of you. What's a good channel for investing, Andy? Okay. There are people who I think are interesting, but I can't necessarily vouch on their advice. But I think that Pete's Conversations with Money. Pete's a mate of mine. He's a really good bloke. He talks about investing from time to time. So there could be some interesting stuff there. Pete Matthew at Meaningful Money. He's very, very good. More of a focus on retirement, but certainly there is some broader investing stuff going on there as well. And a guy called Damien has a channel called Damien Talks Money. Some really interesting stuff there, often like more big idea stuff than practical things, but they're good ones to have a look at, I would say. Yeah, hopefully that's useful to you. Groove Champion says, I have an Amex Personal Gold and my wife has an everyday. We're awaiting the welcome bonus for the Personal Platinum for my wife to apply. Question, should she go instead for the Business Gold Platinum? I don't know. Why my feeling on all the different Amex cards is why do you need it and what are you going to spend? If you are able to time it where you have a big expense or you might have regular expenses which cover the minimum spends on those welcome offers anyway, in which case, great. If you're going to do that anyway, that's brilliant. But you might have to wait, like, I need to buy a new sofa, or we've got the holiday coming up. So you might need to time your application to get a welcome bonus when you're going to meet that spending. In which case, it doesn't matter if the welcome bonus is improved or not. You can only do it when you have to. If that isn't so much of a concern, you are going to have the everyday spending will meet those things. Could be $3,000 in 3 months, $6,000 in 6 months. Then I would wait for when the offer is improved. Now, these things have changed. I did a video 6 weeks ago about the changes to how American Express refunds fees if you cancel during a year. Okay, this is changing in October, so in about 5 weeks, maybe. I can't remember if it's the start or middle of the month, but in October, you'll no longer get a pro rata refund from American Express if you cancel your card during the year. And that massively changes, I think, the appeal of things like the Platinum card, and the same will apply for the business cards, I'm sure. So you have to be sure that the cards are going to be right for you. And I think for that to work, they need to be when the offers are boosted. Obviously, you also need to be eligible for the offers, and that can vary depending on when you have previously had cards. Again, a whole video and article going into detail about how to stack multiple welcome offers, so check that one out. What we've got 5 minutes left. I'll try and do these quickly now then. Okay. So Winart says, lifetime versus Help to Buy ISA. I'm thinking about moving my money from my Help to Buy ISA to my cash ISA. I'm 21 years old. So I would say go do a Google, find some articles which could probably compare the two so you can look at the different things. But the headlines are there are different value of the property limits on the two ISAs. So the lifetime ISA, it is £450,000 wherever you live. The Help to Buy ISA, 200, well, around 200 and something for outside of London. And I think it's 450 in London. So it depends where you live. That could be an advantage to move to a lifetime ISA to get that expanded property value you can get. There are also different ways you can use them. One of them you can get and use towards your deposit. One you can't. Again, read more about that. There is obviously a limit every year of how much you can put into a lifetime ISA of £4,000. If you have more than £4,000 in your Help to Buy ISA, the most you can put in is 4K this year. Then you have to wait until April the 6th to put another 4K in. Let's say you've got 10K. You're looking at, a year after that before you can put the other 2K in any additional savings. So again, you might be better sticking with the Help to Buy ISA for that. And there was something else I was going to say, which I've forgotten. Oh, if you don't buy a property or your property you buy, the ISA isn't eligible for it, the Help to Buy ISA, the money is yours. You lose a 25% bonus, obviously, but it's all yours. The lifetime ISA, that money has to stay in there until you're 60, or you pay a fee of about 6%, a penalty of around 6%, 6-7% to get that out. Again, do more research because it's not so clear cut. Lots of factors come into play. Nigel says, hi Andy, stoozing advice please. I have a 0% card, but I've nearly reached my credit limit. If I request an increase in the limit, will it still be near 0%? Or do I need a new 0% card with another bank? That's a really good question. You're going to have to ask the bank that. Go on the live chat or phone them up and see what they say. I don't know the answer to that. It's possible. I think it may... don't know. Really good question. Really good question. If you find out, let me know. Okay. You has asked me about what I think happened with house prices. I'm afraid, what I think about the same with investing. Well, I don't talk about these things because I don't know. Don't know the answer. No point me saying because I just don't know. And my advice to you is, and all these things, listen to someone who specializes in something. So go to someone who just does mortgage stuff. Ideally, maybe like someone who is a mortgage advisor in their spare time, whatever. They're still not going to know because no one knows what's going to happen. But at least they can have greater knowledge than me just, sticking a thumb in the air and working out what's going on. So sorry I can't help you there, but hopefully you'll find some information. How are we doing? Okay. Rydia says, hi Andy, have you had any problems with opening NatWest accounts? I eventually opened one Wednesday after numerous times to get the ID verification completed. I had no comms from them, no welcome email, etc. So I've not personally had issues with them, but I have seen a few people have an issue with that online ID system. I don't know what's the cause behind it. What if there's a same thing that's causing the same problems to the people who have these issues, or whether it's just a tech glitch that occurs. But good to know you eventually got that one open. Let's do one more from Insta, and then last two more from YouTube. Just scroll through, scroll. Right, no more questions. Okay, fine. So let's do this one. DN says, hi Andy, is the switch bonus and refer a friend incentive received by a bank taxable and any maximum limit? Do we need to inform HMRC if it exceeds £1,000 yearly? So these switching bonuses, refer a friend things, they are seen as rewards. So they are not taxable. If you received interest, that would be taxable. And if you received income, that would be taxable. But this is a reward. Okay, you're not getting a return for a service or anything like that. So you are not taxed on these things. Before we answer the last couple of questions, a couple of kind of things or housekeeping just to help you for the next one of these, because I can't get through all the questions. Head to that community we mentioned, becleverwithyourcash.com/community. That's the Facebook group. Ask your questions there. I can't answer every single question that comes along in my inbox and social media, even on the Facebook group, but 6,400 people on there. Someone will be able to give you their experience, their insight if I or the team can't do that. A lot of the stuff we talk about, as I've said, I've referred you to other videos or other pieces of content that I've produced on the website or the podcast. The best way to keep across all of those is to sign up for the newsletter, which will come into your inbox every Thursday morning. The URL for that, becleverwithyourcash.com/newsletter. It's free to sign up. Check your spam folder if you don't get a confirmation thing, because you need to sort of confirm that you are happy to sign up for it once you've put your email address in. And you'll get that with the best of everything. And that may well preempt some of your questions that you've got. And of course, you can always go to becleveryourcash.com, go to the YouTube channel and search for the things you're thinking about, and you might just find the results there. But let's do 2 more questions. It's past. I know we do quite a hard end, but let's do 2 of these now. Brian said, "Hi Andy, I used my Chase debit card to pay my Argos card and never got the cash back. Always had it before. Don't know why it stopped. Do you know anything?" So Argos card, is that a credit card? I'm assuming that's a credit card. If it is, that would be one of the things that is excluded, because you cannot get cash back on financial transactions. If you were getting it previously, then you were really lucky. So I think take it as you did well before, and now you don't get it. Well, okay, at least you got it beforehand, because you wouldn't normally be able to get that money back for doing that. If it's not a credit card, and maybe it's one you just like a prepay thing you top up, and that's not working, maybe instead you could buy some gift cards instead. The danger with gift cards is that if you take something back, it will be refunded to a gift card, which you then got to spend in that store, which can be a little bit frustrating. And let's do this last. God, it's a bit complicated for a last question there, Thomas. And Sammy, and we're international student stuff. Yeah, I'd love to do most of that. All these questions are really too complicated for the last question. Lots of international student questions. Okay. Right. Okay. Do you know what? There's too many questions there which are too complicated to talk about. So I think we'll call it a day on this one. I'm going to do a savings update video for tomorrow evening. So make sure you keep an eye out for that one. It'll be live, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that, taking you through what the best rates are as we get to the end of this month into September, and a few other sort of developments that have happened over the last 4 weeks or so. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, don't forget, Cash Chats podcast out tomorrow morning. So you'll find it on all podcasting apps. podfollow.com/cash chats. If you want to do it now, hit that follow button, subscribe button, whatever it is, and it'll be ready for you to listen to in the morning when you get up for work. Cheers, guys. See you all very, very soon.